Okay, hi, welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, February 24th, 2025, and I'm here to talk to you about many things. I'll talk to you about my second week as a bookseller. We'll eat some honey and lavender glazed almonds, some Starburst. Today we've got, not sponsored, a Celsius Galaxy Vibe. First up, I want to tell you about this. City of Los Angeles Department of Transportation Parking Adjudication Division Hearing Examiner Report Notice of Decision. My parking ticket from September 4th of last year has been dismissed. Basically, what happened was my license plate, my front one, fell off. Someone in the city grabbed it, put it on their car, parked in the city of Los Angeles at some point, got a ticket because they didn't feed the meter, and I was sent the ticket because it was my license plate. Now, it was a Honda, so same as my car, but it was silver. My Honda was white. There's a difference, okay? The VIN numbers also were not the same. The first time that I appealed this situation, they rejected my appeal, or denied the appeal, whatever the proper terminology is. And so I appealed the appeal and asked for a hearing, and I did a hearing by mail because I'm not driving to Van Nuys. I don't know where that is, and I think it's far. So in order to do that, you have to write a statement. You have to provide some kind of evidence. So I provided the police report of when the police came banging on my door at 9:45 p.m. when we were already in bed, flashing lights through my windows. It wasn't me. So basically the reason why the police came to my door is because the person that had stole my plate, not only did they get a parking ticket, but they also stole someone's mailbox, ran away with it, and there were witnesses that wrote the license plate down. Word to the wise, if you're going to be a criminal and you're going to commit a crime and you've got a stolen plate, but you will basically not be found and you will not be responsible. How about you commit a crime that's better than stealing an innocent person's mailbox? What's going to be in the mailbox? Coupons for Carl's Jr. Coupons for HelloFresh that continuously wants you to join their program, and they will never let you live it down. Light bills, internet bills, bills. Things that the common thief would not want. So I don't know why. And you know what? When people try to commit check fraud, there's body cams of that all over YouTube, and it fails every single time. They're always caught. So I don't know what you're looking for in a mailbox, because it's not going to be an Amazon package. Amazon package is just going to be on the doorstep, which don't take the package. I'm just saying, there's not going to be a lot of value in the mailbox. Anyways, so I thought that was fucking stupid. Idiotic move on their part, but whatever, it's over. And finally, after months and months of getting this sorted out, I no longer owe the city of Los Angeles $63. Even. My amount now due is $0. Perfect. This appeal process is so strange because when you got to this step, to even request a hearing, you had to pay the ticket. I'm not responsible. The whole point of me appealing the decision is because I believe I'm not responsible. So why would I pay it and hope that I get a refund back from the city? No. So I appealed the I appealed the fee, which was $63, and that was approved, luckily. So I didn't have to pay that. So no money was exchanged. Thank you, Lord Jesus and the universe above. I can finally let that go. Now, my other debts, we don't need to speak of that, and I'm not even going to think about it right now. And instead, I'm going to eat honey and lavender glazed almonds while I talk to you. Listen, there's a lot going on in the world, and I'm just so exhausted. I can't even... That's also another reason why I haven't been wanting to film. I've just been feeling weird. And I know part of my mission statement is to provide joy for other people and not talk about politics, so I just need to talk about it really quick. Just... Musk. No. Yeah, no, that's it. I'm not gonna say anything else. And the other guy, I'm at a loss for words for that man. He is just so lost. Oh God, he is just lost in the stars. I wish he would get lost, but that's not gonna happen. He's not letting go. And did you see that the White House posted a picture of him in a crown? In a fucking crown. Are we serious? Didn't we 1776. Didn't we part from the Kingdom of Britain? Didn't we say in our founding documents no to a monarchy? So why the fuck are we putting him in a crown? And who the fuck illustrated that? Because they need to be investigated. I'm joking, but they should not be allowed to draw anything for the rest of their life. It wasn't even a good one. Make it look good. Well, you can't really make him look good. That's the thing. I've been meeting a lot of people in the store that are frustrated about the state of the world, and I just try to distract them with book recommendations. Yesterday, I ran into a recommendation problem because I'm still learning how to recommend the right book for that person, because not everything I read and then I think is good is going to be something that they want to read. Maybe you're not in the mood for such a deep read. Not that all my reads are deep, but my most recent one was. I'll tell you a little bit about it later. She wanted romance. Okay, I'm thinking there's so much romance, but I haven't read a lot of it, partly because I don't care. I mean, sometimes I care. I don't know. I just have to be in the mood for it. And the last romance that I read, if you want to classify it, is Fourth Wing. I read the whole series so far, and some people call that romantasy. I do not call that. It's fantasy with a dash of romance. Because the first book I think is the most romantic, and then the rest is mostly political, action, adventure, fantasy. It's fabulous. So I recommended that, but I forgot that 5 minutes earlier, I had already checked the section and both of the Yaros shelves were empty. So we are out of all 3 books because someone came in and wanted Onyx Storm. She didn't even know the title of it, so that's really good. She just did the 3rd one, but we're out of all of them, which is crazy because I've sold a lot of Fourth Wing in the last week, but I didn't think that we would be out of it. I've sold a lot of Martyr this week, which I need to read. I know I need to get Talia. I know it was really good. But let me show you what I got from the library because this was the only copy that was available. And yes, I know that the paperback of this just came out, but I'm only going to buy it if I love it because I need to pull back on the books. I don't have enough room, and I don't want to become a hoarder because this is not hoarding, this is collecting, and I don't want to upset my partner more than I've already upset him. But I'm sorry, you're going to have to let me have this. So all they had at the library available was the large print edition, and I am completely fine with that because it's not super big. Because I had Demon Copperhead in large print. I checked that out a couple months ago. Demon is over 500 pages, so it was huge. So that intimidated me a little bit, and I said, I'm taking that back. But I ended up reading it, borrowing it from Talia, thank you, and it was so good. So anyways, back to Martyr. Large print really just means this. The words are just a little bigger. It makes it more accessible. I wish more books were printed in large print. Obviously that you can put it on an e-reader and make the font larger, but there's just something about holding a book in your hand. And recently I've tried to read more on my Kindle, even though they're problematic right now because of the new situation where you cannot download your ebooks, but I'm not going to comment on that right now because the only reason that I'm using this Kindle is because I've had it for so long. I've had it for probably over 10 years. Probably 9 of those, it's been in storage, completely dead. I finally pulled it back out, and I bought a gadget recently for it that I'm going to show you as well. But the reason why I like to read on there is because Andrew will go to sleep before me usually, and I want to turn the lights out so it doesn't bother him because he gets really restless if the lights are on, of course. I only got my little lamp, okay? It's not like the overhead is on. Yeah, so I just like to read my Kindle at night so I can still read if I'm not sleepy yet and not disturb him. And look what I have on here now. Yes, 2 Twisted Crowns. I decided to give the paper copy back to Talia because I just wasn't in the mood for this, I don't think. It just wasn't grabbing me. And what's so crazy is I posted a TikTok, which I will show you here. And after I posted that TikTok, in the comments, I got at least 11 comments almost immediately. All women saying, just stick with it. It gets really good. You're going to get invested. The romance is better, this and that. I loved it more than the first one. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. That's part of why I love this community, because they're telling me things that I need to know. And I don't want to pass up a book just because it's not grabbing me at first, especially given that I've already put in the investment in the first book. So I just got this little clip. You clip it in the margin, And I like the medium size margin. And we have our remote. We're going to pair them first. Hold on. I need to turn her on. So once it's paired, doesn't take long. You click it and it turns the page for you. Isn't that sickening? I mean, the only thing that's annoying is that there's 2 buttons, but you can't go back. Like I try to go back and it just goes forward. And another reason why I like e-readers is because sometimes seeing the page number messes me up because I know how many pages are in the book, and if I keep seeing the page number, I sometimes get distracted by the fact that I'm only a third way through or halfway through. I'm not even close to the end, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I just need to suspend that moment and not be able to see how long it's going to take me to read. I think that's a great feature for some people. They like to see how many minutes they have left or in this chapter, blah, blah, blah. But recently I've been reading without any information other than the actual page itself, and it's been helping me stay present a lot better. My second week of book selling was not all that eventful. I definitely felt more comfortable in the space. I am naturally great with people, so talking to people, getting them rung up and all of that is not something that I have a problem with. My main thing is really just getting to know the other departments in the bookstore that I work in. Everything is extremely segmented, which is great from me coming from my last job where I had to do a little bit of everything, but I also love doing a little bit of everything because, people like me have a very diverse skill set and we thrive off of every day feeling a little bit different than the day before. So being in my current position has been a little bit repetitive. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it repetitive. And I knew that going into it, but I really just wanted to get into the store and start learning. And that way I have a wider depth and breadth of knowledge so I can be an asset to the team. Let's just be honest. I'm not looking to stay in this position. I'm looking to move up and up, maybe to the top. And there's always politics involved in any workplace that you work at. So I'm also learning people's tics, who I vibe with the most and who I need to watch out for, who I need to balance with, who do I need to code switch with. It's an interesting social experience. So I've already learned a lot. There's certain people that I am careful around and others that I can speak a little more freely with. And I think that's true of anywhere you're at. My manager's great. My store manager is fantastic. She is truly so cool, so down to earth. She's very in touch with what the people on the floor need. She has sales experience, I can tell. So she's focused on the customer, yes, but she also wants to make sure that we're taken care of so we can take care of the customer better. And ultimately, it's a better experience for all of us. She's awesome. She really looks out for us. She advocates for us with the higher ups, and I really appreciate a manager like that. As you can tell, my ADHD is popping off today, so I've got Martyr in large print from the library. I'll show you all my books that I got this week. Grabbing them all for this video, I'm overwhelmed. I only bought 2 books this week. At my job, I get 30% off. I bought one book that was originally $8, so it was like 6 something. Very small book. And I got another book that's also pretty small, but it's regularly priced. Let me tell you about them. So there's a register that sits. When I talk about segmented, I mean, if you're on the register, you're on the register. Unless you're a supervisor, which I am, you're not going anywhere. You're staying right there, making sure that guests are taken care of so that there's always someone available to ring you up when you're ready. But there's one register that's in the middle of the fiction section. So there's a little bit of blurry lines there because yes, your job on paper is cashier, but you're also bookseller because you're in the middle of it all, and people are going to naturally, because you're standing behind a desk, they're going to naturally come up and ask for help finding something. And as I get to know the sections, I can point them out directly with my hand so I don't have to leave. And sometimes I just have to leave because I want to make sure that the guest is taken care of. So I put that little sign out, this register is closed, you can go to another one, and I walk them to where they need to go, if it's close by. Or another option is to page a bookseller to come over to you. We have 2 ways to do that. One is a bell that sits on the desk, and I really hate to do that. I have not touched that bell since I've been here. Again, it's only my 2nd week, but that feels very waiter. It feels very servant, and there's something about it that makes me uncomfortable. So I would rather push the little button, attention, can I get a bookseller to the desk? Bookseller to the desk. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I think. Because then they perk up and they know that they're needed. And I feel like that feels good. Okay, so this was either Friday or Saturday night. I'm working at the desk in the fiction section, helping people out, ringing people up. It's usually a bit slower just because people know where the main registers are and they're just conditioned to go there. But I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm bored. I'm lonely. If anybody would like to buy a book, I'm ready for you. So this man comes up. I'm helping one guest, and you know, in customer service, you're always being aware of your surroundings, very much like when you're learning to drive. So my eyes are always darting around, seeing what's going on, and I see that he's standing behind the current person that's checking out, and he has this huge stack of books. I'm thinking, okay, we're doing a bulk order. We're buying for a book club or for a class. I mean, that's not abnormal. He sets all of them down, and he goes, these are all my books. Is it okay if I sign them? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a little starstruck. Okay, full disclosure, I had never heard of this author before this. And I have to tell you that he was truly so nice. So nice. We carry 3 of his books, but it seemed like we only had 2 in the moment, and we carried quite a few copies of his books. So he stood there and took the time to sign every single one. I thought it was so cool, so kind. We talked for a little bit, but I was kind of just letting him do his thing. I was a little tired, so I didn't have too much to say. I should have asked him what these books were about, to be honest. But the covers are great. I'll show them to you in a second. Hold on. So the author's name is J. Ryan Straddle. So he's got Saturday Night at the Lakeside Supper Club. The other book he signed was The Lager Queen of Minnesota. And then he has a third book that I can't remember the title of right now. I'll put it up on the screen. But he signed this one and The Lager Queen. What he told me was that this is kind of like his second career. He didn't start writing until the second part of his life, and I just think that is really so cool. And he writes about family and relationships, and this is a fiction that seems really fun. And I was gonna buy both, but I was like, just go with the one that speaks to you the most, see if you like his writing, and then get the other one at a later date. But here is his autograph. It's just so cool. And then we put little stickers on the books that say autographed. So I went to Book Info and grabbed stickers from them and stickered the books. Because at that secondary desk, you have a lot of time. So I sticker pens, I sticker gifts, I look at books, I don't know. I don't want to read necessarily because I don't want to get in trouble. You know, the cameras are on, Big Brother's always watching, and I'm not trying to fuck this job up. But if I were running the joint, I would say, if you have some downtime, feel free to read as long as you're still attentive to the guests. So that's the first book that I bought this week. The other book that I bought that I told you about that was small is The Prince by Machiavelli. And I purchased it solely because of this sassy ass pose on the cover. Because one of my guests put this down and I said, oh my God, look at the hand on the hip. He wasn't having it. He was like, oh. I'm like, can nobody laugh these days? My God. It's funny. Look at it. And the man has a lazy eye. The royal. Okay, he's imperfect. And he's sassy. Is he queer? I don't know. But this is a very classic, old book. I mean, the author lived until 1527. So I started reading this on the computer because it is online for free. But I needed this. I needed that. And I started reading it in an Italian accent because this was translated from Italian. I stood at my register and I read this out loud in an Italian accent. Did anybody hear me? I hope not. Was it fun? Absolutely. Before I show you all of my arcs, because this video is getting long, which, settle in, we're just having a chill moment, okay? Just relax and we're just vibing, all right? We're vibing. Before I show you my arcs, I'm gonna show you, which if you don't know what that means, it's advance reader copy. This is a book that's sent out by the publishers to get people talking about a book before it's released. So it'll say on the cover that this is not for sale. This is an advanced reader copy, and then it'll say the date that it's coming out. And then on the back, it usually tells you about the marketing plan that they have in place for the book's release. And there are also contacts at the publisher of people that you can get in contact with if you have any questions or this and that. I'll also tell you about the arc that I just finished yesterday that I loved. It's my second 5-star read of the year, and I am so surprised by it. I'll tell you about that in a little bit, I promise. But let me first tell you about the books that I got from the library. Some of these I've had on hold for a second, and some I just saw pop up online, and as soon as I see something recommended to me online, I see if it's at the library before I go to a bookstore and buy it. Also, I am pleasantly surprised by how much librarians can make in California. I don't know how much they can make in other states, but librarians make just over $600,000. Oh, fuck, that is not what I meant to say. Just over 6 figures, which would be iconic if they made 600,000. But yeah, they basically make 110, maybe a bit more. But in order to be a librarian, you have to have a master's in library science. Do I want to be a librarian? Not in my local library. I'm going to tell you that right now, because you couldn't pay me enough to sit there and have a master's and be treated like they do. Okay, the people in my local branch, they got to deal with a lot of shit. And you know what? I'm trying to give grace to the people that have mental health issues and that are unhoused, but sometimes they come in and they cause a ruckus in the damn library. I love that libraries are open to everybody, but just respect the rules of decorum in here. All right? Please. And just, can we come in just a little presentable if we're going to be around other people? You don't even have to look put together, but with the smell, it's too much. I can't read. I don't want to go in there. I really only go in there to pick up my holds and to return books. And because otherwise there's yelling or it's just too much. It's too much and it's inappropriate. And you know what? I think I said this. No, I don't think I said this in it. Venice. My partner got us this beautiful shoe holder to go by our door when we come in and take our shoes off. Venice just found his way on top of it, and that thing is not secured to the wall. Please don't fall over. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll listen for any crashes. Long story short, if I were to be a librarian, I would love to work at the Los Angeles Public Library in downtown. It's beautiful. I haven't been yet. Also, West Hollywood, of course. It's a very well-known library. And then I saw recently a posting for a job at the Beverly Hills Library. Okay. We're giving the books to the upper echelon of society. That was a close one. He just jumped off, that's all. It's like, you can be on there if you can balance right. I have my associates, so that would mean I'd have to get my bachelor's, and then get my master's. And I've been looking into it, and you could really get your bachelor's in anything. Anything you want, that doesn't really matter, as long as you have a master's in library science. Why you need a master's to work at the library, I do not know. Sure, there are certain positions that I could see, but what? I don't get it. It's just how it is. If I want to be part of it, I gotta play the game. I don't know if I'm gonna be a librarian. I don't know what I'm gonna be from day to day, to be honest. It's always changing, because this mind it's always evolving. There's always things going on. Part of me wants to study history, because some people in this current age are confused. It's as if they forgot the entire past, everything that's happened in the past. Why did we even go to high school? Why did we go to elementary school? Why did we take history at all if we can't recall those moments to teach us about the present? I don't get it. And then some people's argument is, well, why would you want to study the past? Why would you want to live in the past? Why don't we live in the present? Let's focus on the future, because we're going to repeat the same mistakes. And that's what this country is so good at. So maybe I'll study history, or my obvious would be to study literature, but it's hard to find online bachelor's programs where you can study literature. I could also just study English or creative writing, but do I want to be an author? I don't think so. I don't know. Never really thought about it. It's possible. But right now, I'm just focused on consuming the media, and yeah, I don't think I want to be a writer. I don't know. If I could dress like him and be a writer, I would do that. All right, I'm all over the place. Let me go get the arc that I just finished. My first arc of being a bookseller, and let me tell you a little bit about it without spoiling it. I'll probably make a separate video, so this will just be a short snip, but I need to tell you about it because it was good. Now we have these things at work called shelf talkers. They basically are pieces of laminated paper that have reviews on them from employees of the store in front of the book. So that way, when you're looking for a book and you're just browsing, you can read someone's review and recommendation and go off of that and pick up the book. So I am definitely going to write a shelf talker for this because I want everyone to read it. Now, this doesn't come out until May 6th. As soon as this is out, you got to pick it up. This is from Blackstone Publishing that I believe is out of Oregon, and it's written by Omar Hassan, and it's his debut. He graduated from the creative writing program at NYU, and I am so surprised at how good this is, especially for a first book. And I want to remind you, just because it's their debut, that is just their foray into publishing. That doesn't mean it's their first time ever writing or editing or creatively strategizing. That is just finally the first time that they have gotten a piece of their work in front of someone who could put it in front of the eyes of everyone. Just want to keep that in mind. There's a lot of great writers out there that are not published, and I hope that this man continues to get deals because he is exactly the type of writer that I want to read. This is called 1,000 Natural Shocks. It's got a pill on the cover with a brain carved into it. That's important. Let me tell you about it. The summary that I'm going to give you and the summary on the back only tells you a little bit about this book. So we follow Dash, who is a journalist in Northern California, who is following a serial killer who has popped back up after many years of being dormant. In the middle of all of that, he is trying to join a cult, which he knows is a cult, but he wants the benefits that they bring. And the benefits are that they provide a pill. For 4 weeks, you take 1 pill per week, and each pill eliminates a fourth of your memory. And by the end, your entire past is forgotten. You get a new name, a new career, a new living situation, a new life. So you were basically escaping your past life and creating a new one. And for some reason, that's what Dash wants. He wants to escape his current reality and move into something else. Which is crazy because if you forget everything, then you're going to forget why you even wanted to forget in the first place. This is written with such beautiful prose and imagery. I've got to find ways to describe prose to you better, but the descriptions are so tangible and so feeling that I couldn't wait to turn the page. This is available for pre-order anywhere you get books, preferably a small bookstore or bookshop.org, and I think you can get it straight through Blackstone Publishing as well. Now, the first page is going to be very confusing, but once you get into this story, which doesn't take very long, I'm going to tell you right now, it grabbed me pretty immediately. You're hooked, and you cannot wait to see what happens next. It is psychological. It tackles themes of grief and masculinity and relationships with parents, purpose and passion, the ethics of journalism. There is so much in here. He has a beautiful relationship with his best friend named Cal, so there's also an element of male friendship in here. It's just right when you think you know what's going to happen next, something else happens, and it's just incredible. It's thrilling. But for a thriller, like, you know, when you think of a thriller, I'll throw up a couple of examples. You think, all right, it's going to be a good book. It's going to be an episode of, SVU. Something that's going to keep you engaged, but it's not necessarily something that's deep thinking. No offense to them. I'm just telling it like it is. But this book, it's deep, and quite honestly, knowing what I know now, I can't wait to read it again. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on it for now. This is out May 6th from Blackstone. This is 1,000 Natural Shocks by Omar Hassan. It's incredible. Before I move on to any of my other arcs that I got this week that I haven't read yet, but it is a whole stack of books, I'm going to take you through my library holds that I picked up today. One of them currently is shooting its movie. I'm not going to tell you about all of them. I'm just going to read them off, and maybe I'll give some highlights about a few of them. But I've got Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, who is the winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. Door in the Dark, which is the first book in a YA magical fantasy by Scott Reitgen. I started reading it last night just to see what's going on. I didn't love the opening, but I'm going to try to keep with it because I've heard a lot of people say great things about this. Greta and Walden. This has been on my hold list for, I don't know, 8 weeks or something. Love the cover. It's about two siblings. One is Greta and one is Walden, obviously. Tomi Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. This is the one that is getting adapted right now. There's a lot of scandal around the casting because they're all very well-known actors, very well-known black actors, but not all of them are, none of them are Nigerian. And this is a Nigerian story that may be fictional and fantasy and set in a world that is of make-believe, but it is based on real places in Nigeria and the culture and people of that region. So it should have been reflected in the casting, but there could be a million reasons why they went with the casting they did. One of them, I'm guessing, being they need enough people in the cast to bring people out to the movies. And if you know the actors, you're gonna come. You're gonna buy the ticket. I think a lot of people know about this story, but there are a lot of people that don't. And you've got to strategically market your movie in a way that makes people want to see it. So I get it on one end, I don't get it on the other, but the author is going to be a producer on the film. She is there while they're shooting, so she's going to be a huge part of it. So she's going to make sure that it's true to the book, hopefully. Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This was published in 1952 and is often called a masterpiece. Godkiller by Hannah Kaner. I actually don't remember why I added this to my holds. I believe this is the first in a series. Wait, let's see. Yes, it's the first in a trilogy. Somebody said that this was really, really good. I mean, the author of The Priory of the Orange Tree quoted on the front, so come on, it's got to be good. And I could devour this, maybe in a day, possibly. Yeah, let's see. The book I just read was very close to our reality, so now I'm wondering, do I go to a fantasy next and transport myself to a completely different world? Or do I continue on this train of contemporary fiction? I don't know. I kind of got to see what I'm in the mood for. I'm going to gauge it by the first chapter. I just am, because I'm in a very strange place right now. Before I read 1,000 Natural Shocks, I was in a bit of a reading slump because I was just bouncing from book to book. I wasn't vibing with any of them. And then finally I opened this arc and I was like, oh shit, this is why you like to read. This is what it's about. And then what's another book that I opened that I was like, yeah, I like it, but I'll come back to it. Oh, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Holy shit, the opening grabbed me. But I was like, wait, I just came off the back of Fourth Wing, so I just need to calm down with the pure fantasy. But I gotta give it props to her because, wow, I was immediately grabbed. It felt very much like the camera's on the floor, everything seems quiet, and then somebody runs past and the action begins. That's what it felt like, that opening. Oh, what really, really well done. So I'm definitely going to go back to her, hopefully soon. And if anyone knows, let me know in the comments if she is going to continue writing more in that series, if it's even a series, or if she's going to write something different. Because if anyone should be getting book deals, it should be her. And adaptation deals. Because it felt very cinematic. And you know what? 1,000 Natural Shocks also felt extremely cinematic. And in that video, I'll tell you exactly what to listen to, because there was a soundtrack that I had on, especially in the third act, that elevated my reading experience, and I want everyone to experience it the way I did, because it was just so good. And it was just a serendipity recommendation that I got on my YouTube page, and I couldn't stop listening to it. Holy shit. Go check out that video. If it's up. Yeah, it'll be up. I'll post it. All right, let's continue with arcs, because I'm getting distracted. This arc comes wrapped in a paper cover. This is a book published by Source Books. It is called The Girls of Good Fortune by Christina McMorris. And it's wrapped in this gold paper, and on the front it says fortune rests in misfortune. And when you open it, oh my god, let's take a look at this inside first. It's kind of like a very simple minimal map. Okay, we love that. I pulled that off the shelf like, what? Whoa, okay. All right, Miss McMorris. And then here's the cover, The Girls of Good Misfortune. Wait, the fuck? The Girls of Good Fortune by Christina McMorris. This is out on May 20th. If y'all don't know, because I just learned this last week. In case y'all didn't know, because I just learned this as well, the release day for new books is Tuesdays. Portland, 1888. This is very interesting. Why doesn't she have a author portrait? She doesn't want to be seen? What the heck? Oh no, she's here. You better work. Okay. Wait. She's a best-selling author of Sold on a Monday, which has been purchased over 1 million times. There's something a little problematic about this, a little bit, because the main character is half Chinese who passes as white, and then there's all this, but this is a white woman, right? Maybe she's not. Maybe she's half Chinese. I gotta look into this for a moment. Hold on, because she was a child actress at one point. She's half Japanese. All right. Okay, I'll read it. I'm just saying, there's a certain author, I don't even remember her name, but she changed her name, not this author, not Christina, I'm not talking about her. Different author, changed her name, or I guess wrote under a pen name, and wrote very successful books. And the name sounds Asian, but she's a white lady. I don't like that. And the books are Asian. They're Asian-centered stories. I don't like that. But Christina is half Japanese, so it makes it a little bit better. She's not half Chinese like her protagonist, but listen, if you're tapping into your Asian culture, I love that. I'm not trying to open the door for this debate of like, what can you write and what you can't write. I'm just saying, if it's going to be a story about a culture that you did not grow up in and you don't know much about, probably stay out of it. This is a book that's already out, came out on the 4th by Ocean View Publishing. This is The Department by Jacqueline Faber. Next is Metallic Realms by Lincoln Michael, who wrote The Body Scout. This is out on May 13th. And it seems really cool. It seems very nerdy, and I'm here for it. The Slip by Lucas Schaefer. This is out on June 3rd, and it's published by Simon & Schuster. This is his debut novel. I really like this cover. Listen, I'm not trying to judge him by his picture, but that looks like a white man to me. And this is a book centered on a black protagonist. So I'm just saying, something's a little fishy here. But I'm going to go with it. But I think only black authors should be writing black stories. Mainly when there's commentary on race. If you're writing a fantasy and you're including people of color in your story and you're doing your due diligence, great. If you're doing a whole book about race, I think it's a little hard to understand a black perspective from a white one. Let's get that conversation going. The Life of Those Left Behind by Matteo B. Bianchi. He is from Italy. This is not his first. He's also a screenwriter. There's queerness in here. I'm always attracted to a queer book. This is fiction. It's an autobiographical novel, so this cover, no. I need to have a word with who published this. This is out in May, by the way. Okay, the original publisher, because this was published in Italian, was Mondadori Libri S.p.A. Milano, and this is now being published worldwide by Other Press, based out of New York. So when it got to Other Press, we should have changed this. I'm just saying. And the glossy, to me, glossy just makes it feel a little bit cheaper. Now, a lot of the times the proofs are not going to be the final thing, but there are many instances where I've seen they are the final cover. So that's not it. That's not going to want to make me buy it at all. Oh, so you want to talk about covers. Deep House by Jeremy Atherton Lynn. This is his second book. You may know him from his first book, Gay Bar. Very, very popular book, which I still have yet to read. But this is allegedly the gayest love story ever told. And yeah, I'm purchasing because that's hot. And this book will be out June 3rd. I'm really excited to read this one. To Place a Rabbit by Madhur Anand. Summer House by Yigit Karamet. This is translated by Nicholas Glastonbury from Turkish. It was originally published in Turkish in 2021, and it is now being published by Soho Press out of New York. This is a gay thriller, and gay and thriller, I'm here for it. Alex North. Sounds like a made-up name. The Man Made of Smoke. This is a thriller published by Celadon Books. It has an insert, so because sometimes publishers will include a little letter or a little note with their arcs, so I'm actually curious to see what this says. North is a British crime writer who has previously published under another name. Okay, so he's well-versed. He is a writer. There are quotes in here from booksellers, and it lists the shop's name. This is so fucking cool. And a white knuckle read from start to finish. Book Culture. Oh my god. My girl Zofia works at Book Culture in New York. That's so cool. Here's kind of a poster showing his other works and his newest. Yeah, because if I like his stuff, then I'll read his other stuff too. This is really interesting because it gives you the ISBN, 304 pages. It's going to be retailing for $27.99 in the US, $36.99 Canadian. And it tells you it's published by Celadon Books, which is a division of Macmillan. Cool. The marketing campaign is going to include, I just want to read this off because it's an example of what is on the back of these arcs, and if you've never gotten one before, this is, I feel like, very interesting. They're mailing arcs to booksellers and librarians. The eGalley is available for download on NetGalley and Edelweiss. NetGalley is a very big arc platform that you're able to sign up for. They're also sending arcs to influencers who love Alex North already, which will be the loudest mouths for the campaign. On sale advertising in crime and horror outlets, as well as across major book websites and social media. Big social media push, including partner giveaways and backlist sweeps. A book club campaign, including book club leader mailing and author visits to book clubs. Book club kit available. Publicity, media attention, drawing from the success of his previous books. The Whisper Man was an instant New York Times bestseller and a New York Times editor's pick. And then there are more quotes from booksellers. I just love that. I love that so much. You usually see quotes from journalists and other authors, but to see them from actual booksellers is so cool. And then there's actually also an interview on the back. This is a great insert. The Nimbus by Robert P. Baird. This is on sale in June. So the toddler son of a divinity school professor mysteriously starts to glow. The nimbus, as the strange soft light comes to be known, offers no clues to its origin and frustrates every attempt at a rational explanation. That's all I needed. Little kid starts glowing and they don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm interested. See, like, this person's campaign is completely different. They've got national radio outreach, including NPR, Sirius XM, and syndicated regional radio. They've got a targeted podcast interview campaign, off-the-book page author essay, op-ed placement, summer reading push. Yeah, it's just so interesting to see how everyone does it differently. And then some arcs will also tell you the size of the book, so the booksellers can pre-plan for where they're going to place this in their store. So for example, this book is going to be 6 1/8 inches by 9 1/4 inches. Published by Henry Holt and Company, which I believe is a division of Macmillan. And then it will be distributed in Canada by Raincoast Book Distribution Limited. Four more, and then I'm done. I know, I've been talking a lot. The Boy from the Sea by Garrett Carr. This is published by Knopf, which is a division of Penguin Random House, so I'm sure this is going to have a big push. It's coming out April 29th. John Cowan, Proof This is out on June 24th. This is about a lawyer with a drinking problem that he doesn't think is a problem, named Jake West. And yes, mainly I pulled this off the shelf because his name is Jake, and I had to read my alternate reality. He's recently adapted the works of both John Grisham and James Patterson. He has an MFA from UCLA, from the School of Theater. Okay. Work. He's written for shows like Suits, Private Practice, and Bones. Okay, so he's a TV writer, so he knows exactly what he's doing. So this is going to be, I think, gripping. This is published by Gallery Books, which is an imprint of Simon & Schuster. Now, the next two books were in the Free Little Library. So this is How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them by Jason Stanley. This is published by Random House. This is not an ARC. This is a book that I got from the Little Free Library near the store. And this is from Random House, which is an imprint of Penguin Random House. And I feel like that's pretty obvious. Yeah. That means it was discounted or damaged out. It has a little bit of damage, and that's probably why. This one was also marked. This one I actually saw on the Kindle store not that long ago. So this is The Curious Kitten at the Chibineko Kitchen by Yuta Takahashi. If you don't know, neko is the word for cat in Japanese. This was published in 2024. The English translation was by Penguin Books, which is an imprint of Penguin Random House, translated by Kat Anderson. That's it. You see all these books? Let me show you. You see all those books? I know, it's a lot, but here I am. That's all for today, folks. I didn't even end up sketching because I was just talking to you for so long, but I appreciate you listening along, watching along, and maybe I'll make another one of these for my third week of book selling. I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't really told many people, I have applied to transfer to the books department, officially, all right? I have, because I want to be on the front lines. That's right. I want to be in the stacks. I want to climb the ladder that slides. I want to recommend book guests, which I'm already doing, but I want to be unrestricted. I want to be flying free. I'm very operations oriented, very organized. My ADHD, it's locked down. It's medicated. It's controlled. So I'm just saying I'll keep you updated on that. I think it might take a month or so because they're very slow with hiring and transferring, I'm guessing. I will be taking a pay cut if I get it because I will no longer be a supervisor. I did the math and I'm okay with it. At least for now. Maybe I'll be a supervisor in the books department at some point. Who knows what life will bring, okay? All right, that's it for this one. Mahalo for watching. I hope I inspired you to read something today. And I'll see you next time.